Mr. President, thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Vincent. Your Excellencies, Ursula and Antonio, it's a real pleasure to have you here, and I also have to extend my greetings to the members of the European Union and the South African delegations made up of our ministers and deputy ministers and officials. It has indeed been a real honor to jointly preside over the South Africa-EU leaders trilateral meeting. Today, we have an opportunity to take stock of the progress that we have made, and particularly over just this past year, but also take stock in the overall relationship between South Africa and the European Union. We've characterized this relationship as a mature relationship, a relationship that is predictable, that is reliable, and that is based on trust. And we are very pleased as South Africa to have a partner like the EU, and where we are able to discuss a variety of matters. Just this year alone, President van der Leyen was saying that we have met just this year 4 times. We met in Cape Town, and then we met at the at the United Nations. Then we met in Brussels, and we're meeting today. And all those meetings that we've held have been very productive. They have now produced the agreement that we have seen signing here. There are quite a number of other issues on which we are discussing that are in the pipeline, and these are matters of great importance to the two partners in this relationship. We have prioritized the transition to green energy, ensuring that this process is just and inclusive, but more importantly, also safeguards the livelihoods of those who are most affected by the transition. We also have agreed on cooperation in the areas of critical minerals and support for green infrastructure, local vaccine production, and the pharmaceutical value chain. Now, all these are very important, not only to us as South Africa, but also to the EU. We have now successfully finalized a clean trade and investment partnership. This is a really unprecedented agreement for us, but the more other exciting one is the Memorandum of Understanding on Critical Minerals. It is actually quite instructive that it has been signed by Minister Mantashe, who is the Minister of Mineral Resources and Petroleum. Now, as he sat there, I was looking at him like 40 years ago when I knew him. He was a mine worker, worked on the mines underground, digging up all those minerals. And he became the leader of the trade union of those mine workers that he was part of. And now he's a minister signing an agreement on critical minerals. Now, this is history-making. Absolutely history-making. Now, you may recall Nelson Mandela in his book when he said, we want to create a country where the son of a shepherd, cattle shepherd, can rise to become president of a country. He was talking about himself. Now, today we witness how a mine worker who worked underground in a mine today can sign an agreement with Europe, with the European Union, on critical minerals. But the substance of that agreement is what is important. It is important to note that we are signing an unprecedented agreement. We've never really fully signed such an agreement where two partners agree that we are no longer going to rely on extracting minerals only. We will want to extract those minerals, have them processed, at the point of extraction, add value to those minerals so that South Africa begins to move up the value chain of beneficiation. That is the unprecedented nature of this agreement. These two agreements will strengthen our trade and investment ties. They will provide a platform for regulatory cooperation and identification of strategic projects, especially in green hydrogen, clean technology, and the critical raw materials. In October, I visited Brussels to attend the Global Gateway Forum at the invitation of President van der Leyen. It was the very first time at the EU offices. They have these massive offices that I had never seen before. I was so impressed, and I was tempted. If I was a thief, I would have wanted to steal that building and bring it to South Africa. At that forum, President van der Leyen announced an increase in the value of the EU Global Gateway investment package for South Africa, so that it now totals closer to 12 billion euros. The package includes support for just component of our energy transition through the reskilling and job creation, as well as support for connectivity and digital infrastructure. We successfully launched a bilateral energy dialogue in September, which will support our just energy transition. It will include other collaborative opportunities, such as the export of sustainable aviation fuel by Sasol and the development of clean coal technologies. Now, all these are still in the pipeline of negotiations, and I have no doubt that just as we have reached agreement on other areas, we will be able to reach agreement here as well, including agreements that we will reach on citrus and a number of other areas. We've also agreed on the development of the auto industry in South Africa through local manufacturing of electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles, and e-batteries for export to the European market. We agreed to stand together in defense of democracy, in defense of multilateralism, human rights, and the rule of law. We reaffirmed our commitment to the central role of the United Nations and maintaining global peace and security. And these are matters that we've been discussing over time and reaching the meeting of minds and consensus. And this goes to show and demonstrate the maturity of the relationship and the depth of the relationship as well. We agreed to strengthen our dialogue, yes, on peace and security, and we are encouraged by the EU support of South Africa's G20 presidency, which has been evidenced by the participation of EU member countries in the G20 engagements over the past year. President van der Leyen and President Costa, we found the EU countries' participation in the G20 very, very positive, very supportive, and always looking for ways to reach agreement and find solutions. So we salute your officials, and we want to thank you for the way in which they have supported South Africa in its G20 presidency. I look forward to... Thank you for that. That was nice. I look forward to attending the EU-Africa Summit in Angola, which will start on Monday. I'm sorry that we're going to put it to a great deal of work and travel, but it is the work that we have to do. We will use the opportunity to advance the AU's Agenda 2063 in Angola and the EU's Global Gateway strategy in support of sustainable development across Africa. Now, on behalf of the government of the Republic of South Africa and the people of South Africa, it has been a pleasure to have both of you here today prior to the holding of the Leaders Summit on Saturday. This meeting affirms our commitment to continue building a mutually beneficially strong relationship between the European Union and South Africa. So we thank you and welcome to South Africa, and I hope your stay is a pleasant one. Thank you very much. I hand over to you now.
Thank you very much, President Ramaphosa, dear Cyril. Thank you for your warm welcome here at Joburg. Tomorrow, indeed, you will host the G20 in your great and beautiful country. And this will be the first G20 summit to take place on African soil, the first since the African Union joined as a permanent member. And I think this highlights Africa's central, vital role on the global stage. But first, let's talk about us, indeed. Today, the time is here for South Africa and Europe. And indeed, dear Cyril, this has been quite a year for our relationship. Today, we are building with the results you've just witnessed on the success of the summit in Cape Town and of the Global Gateway Summit in Brussels. Thanks again that you were coming there. And now, right here in Joburg, we double down on this very unique partnership. First of all, indeed, we signed our Clean Trade and Investment Partnership. And you must know this is the very first time that the European Union is signing such a partnership. So you are a highly valued partner for a Clean Trade and Investment Partnership. This will boost, of course, trade and investment. It will boost it in key clean sectors, green hydrogen, renewables, many more. And for the first time, we will discuss regulation, we will discuss trade barriers and security of supply under one framework. The CTIP will make South Africa a destination of choice for European clean tech investment. It will also broaden our cooperation on skills, because we all know that technologies are only as good as the people operating them. So skilling people, upskilling is the most important part here. And of course, with skills come jobs, and new jobs, good jobs, right here in South Africa. Today, we also signed our MOU on minerals and metals, the value chain partnership. We need these inputs to power the clean energy transition, both here and in Europe. So the future of our economies depends on a fair and on reliable supply chains, and my emphasis is on reliable supply chains. This is the reason why we strengthen and diversify our supplies among trusted partners, and you are, for us, one of the first trusted partners. This agreement will also help South Africa to expand its strategic industry. And as you said, we are not only looking at extraction. For us, it's very important that we are looking at the whole value chain, at the locally added value, because this brings local jobs. And for us, this is the meaning of a sustainable partnership over a long time and a trusted partnership. And today, indeed, at the airport, I met the Minister for Mining. You received me there, and we were discussing that. And when I said, for us it's important not only the extraction, but the processing locally, and the added value locally, and the jobs locally, you said, okay, because you said that, and this is so, I will come this afternoon to sign the agreement. And I was happy that you were here. We are also delivering, as you said, on our 12 billion global gateway investment package. And today we've signed 3 new major projects. First, together with the European Investment Bank, we are investing 350 million euro to modernize South Africa's infrastructure, both in transport and in energy. And this includes support for Transnet's decarbonization under the Just Energy Transition Partnership. The second part is we're launching a 330 million euro financing package to strengthen the value chain for critical raw materials, as we just discussed, but also green hydrogen, e-batteries, electric batteries. And the third part is we're investing 70 million euro in South Africa's pharmaceutical and vaccine production. And this is a real success story, because I remember, Cyril, during the pandemic, how much we were discussing how we can make sure that the production, the development and the production of vaccines for Africa takes place in Africa. And indeed, COVID-19 showed us how important this vaccine sovereignty is. And here is now the result. It's up and running. So really, I thank you for the excellent cooperation we had on that topic. Finally, we're teaming up not only for South Africa, but for the whole of Africa. 1 year ago, the two of us launched the Scaling Up Renewables for Africa campaign. This is basically to mobilize investments for clean energy, to help provide access to electricity, because we all know 600 million people on the continent still lack access to electricity. And therefore, tomorrow is a big day, our final pledging event. We have brought governments, companies, and philanthropists together with one clear goal in mind: to power the future of this entire continent with clean, affordable, and accessible energy. And tomorrow we are hosting here the final pledging event together. So thank you very much again, and very much looking forward to the next days. Thank you.
Mr. President, dear Cyril, dear Ursula, first of all, I would like to congratulate the South African authorities and the Commission for the work that you have been since our summit 8 months ago in Cape Town. It's very impressive, the capacity that you show to translate in concrete projects what we have agreed and our ambitious common partnership. My second word is to thank President Ramaphosa and South Africa for their very strong global leadership. We are living in the multipolar world, and in this multipolar world, we need to engage and to strengthen the relationship between the different poles of this world. And Africa is a very important, is a key continent for the future of our world, and of course South Africa has a leading position in this continent. And the G20 meeting is a great opportunity to gather people from all around the world to come here and to sit at table, to discuss, to listen each other, to bring new proposals, to try to tackle the global challenges that we need to face together, because the global challenges, only together we can tackle them. Climate change, inequality, poverty are three main issues that we need to mobilize the entire world to do on this. Our partnership is based in shared values, mutual respect, and the commitment to democracy, multilateralism, and a fairer, more sustainable world. These principles are also the cornerstone of your G20 presidency. We have chosen a motto: solidarity, equality, and sustainable development. The European Union fully embraces your priorities, and we are actively contributing to making this week's summit a success. Now more than ever, we need strong multilateralism platforms and institutions, a rules-based order, open dialogue and global cooperation to tackle common challenges. Fighting climate change, inequality and poverty. By upholding the Paris Agreement, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and the Pact for the future, engaging in the reform of the international financial institution and in the reform of the United Nations to reflect the world of today, because the world of today is not anymore the world of 1945. We need to act for the well-being of our people today and to ensure a sustainable future for generations to come. For the very first time, the G20 held on Africa soil, and your agenda, dear President Ramaphosa, is firmly geared towards your continent's prosperity and innovation potential. The European Union is a reliable, predictable, and trustworthy party for Africa on that path. Our two continents are bound by a unique partnership. It is robust, it is dynamic, and it is looking to the future. As you said, next Monday, we will hold our 7th European Union African Union Summit in Luanda, Angola. And with a clear purpose in mind to strengthen and enrich our cooperation, to make our natural connection even stronger, and so that we can grow together and protect each other. Dear President, I look forward to welcome you, together with my friend President João Lourenço, there next week. Until then, thank you once again for hosting us here in Johannesburg, and all the best for our G20 meeting tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. We will now open the floor to questions.